Hey, pro organizers, it's Melissa, and it's Monday. We are almost halfway through October, which is crazy, but we are doing something in our Inspired Organizer group that I would love to invite you to. It is called Boss October. And we talked about it briefly on the last couple of podcasts, but the concept of Boss October, and I'm going to leave you the original podcast, came from an organizing client of mine and just a lovely all around good human being. And she spends the month of October doing tons of stuff that she has put off throughout the rest of the year. Those internet memes that I've seen that said that thing that I put off for 3 months took me 10 minutes to do. It's like that, only on a bigger scale. I know that there are a lot of things that a lot of us avoid, including me, and we're trying to power through those things. The original podcast is about personal stuff, and I'm attaching that because it really gives you the concept. And by the way, I am boss Octobering my personal stuff too. One example is insurance. Our homeowners and car and everything, it has gotten just completely out of control. Our AT&T bill is another one that I'll be looking at. So, Boss October can translate for personal and professional. In our Boss October group, we are really doing this to get our businesses up to where we need them to be. So, what we're doing in our Inspired Organizer group is we are going through and giving you a live coached version of our course. We are doing things every single week to walk you through all of our content to really shore up our businesses to get ready to go into 2026 strong. And I would love for you to join us. If you are interested at all, our Inspired Organizer program is closing at the end of the month, October 31st, because we are going to be making a ton of changes ourselves as we go into 2026. If there are things that you have been afraid of implementing your business, or you just don't know what to do, or you are in analysis paralysis or comparisonitis or any of those things, I would love to be able to offer you some help. Stop putting the thing off. Let's do the thing together. Take advantage of Boss October and take advantage of our course and community being open. I'll talk more about it in the upcoming days, but please hit up proorganizerstudio.com/links and all of the goodness will be there. And by the way, this applies to people who've been in business for many years. All of us who've been in business for a long time have things that we need to clean up. And every single day I look at businesses and I look at organizers and I say, let's crisp this up and this and this. And that is what we were trying to do with a little bit of live coaching and community support. So I would absolutely love to have you. Inspired Organizer closes on October 31st. And if you want to have a call with me to talk about what it looks like being in our programs, I would love to do that too. Just reach out to me at hello@proorganizerstudio.com and I would love to chat with you. Okay, so this is an encore episode, but it hasn't been on for a long time. You haven't heard it in 3 years. I would love for you to listen to my client Leah talk about Boss October, and I hope that this is a great kickoff for you professionally, personally, all the things. And I would love to chat with you. Talk to you soon. Have a great day, organizers.
Can you give me a little background on what Boss October is? Sure. Before the plague in 2020, I was on a girls' weekend with my aunt to New York City. And one of the reasons I was convinced to go to New York City was to ride in studio in the Peloton studio. I was had a bike for 5 years. And I'm so thankful that I got to ride the studio before there was no live classes and before New York City was not a place to visit. So we had this wonderful weekend and it was the end of September. And if you're not a Peloton person, like I'm not a religious Ally Love writer, but she gave a live ride and introduced this concept of like Boss October, which for her was this idea that you could just do anything in October. So like she would introduce a hard interval and she'd be like, hey, we're going to do this and it's going to suck. And it's Boss October. So boss up. And so my aunt and I just started like using this phrase Boss October because it's catchy. But we didn't really use it with regard to exercise. We used it with regard to our lives and all the things in our lives that are basically short, sucky things that just need to get done. Uh, and I think in life, we put these things off and they have more weight hanging over us than the effort it takes to just do them. There's little things every day, but then there's these big things that you need to just do. And so I started a Boss October list and I have a list of things that I don't like doing that aren't particularly complicated or long, but just need to get done. And living in Minnesota, there's no better time than to do it before you hibernate. Hence, Boss October and a bunch of things I don't want to do, but I try to do one thing every day, or at least 31 things in October.
Which I love because I love this for so many reasons, and we'll get into a little bit of the detail about what comprises to you Boss October. But I love that you're trying to do one thing a day. And because there are actually all of these things that start building up. And I saw something recently that said that thing that I put off for 3 months took me 15 minutes to do. So I'm
Right.
sure there are days where you're like, hey, my thing only took me 10 minutes today. Cool, I'm done for the whole day. They aren't
No.
hard things, they're just things that are weighing on us. What I loved about yours is that you were explaining to me that you do all these things that you know are smart but are a pain. Like I remember one of your examples was you renegotiate some of your bills, like you renegotiate your cable bill, you threaten to leave them, then they reduce your bill by 50%. You
Totally.
look at all of kind of your expenditures. What are some of the things that comprise Boss October for you?
One thing is I look at insurance, and that is just I may separate out, like, the insurances. I double check to make sure I have, like, life, disability, and that I'm not totally overpaying for car insurance, and just so that I have a sense of what that costs, and so I do that, and that usually takes a couple days. I hate doing it. I hate making phone calls to people in insurance worlds. I hate,
It's
like,
terrible.
double checking or looking at the forms, but it's like, it just needs to be done, and it just hangs over you, like, do I have the right policies? Do I have the right person named as my beneficiary? Yes. And actually, it was really easy this year because I did it last year. I think most of us probably put that off for years and years on end. Year to our detriment. But so it could be like if your insurance is pretty like good, you could do it all in one day. But if you have something super hard, like car insurance is super hard for you, or life insurance is super hard for you, you might just need to, the job might literally be like find 3 life insurance companies. That might be the job because it can't be like 6 hours of work. So it has to be something that you can do it in 30 minutes that's gonna give you momentum. So insurance was one of the things that I try to do once a year. And like you said, cable or look at your bill and see what's on there. These are things like I avoid doing, but they don't take that long and they might save you a boatload of money.
And also looking for hidden things you're paying for. Like I
Right.
have a group text that there's one member that we get on her for something that we call passive spending because she spends money on things and then forgets to cancel them and all those kinds of things. And
Right.
those really add up. And
And
looking for all those passive spending things, looking for things because I suspect that you probably save yourself a lot of money in this process. Think have you ever quantified it? But it probably has four zeros if you do it right.
yeah, yeah. I think one year I saved 4 zeros just on car insurance. Like, when I bundled, like, car and life and took something off, it was like, "There's $1,000." So, did I say 4 zeros? 4 digits. I
Yeah,
didn't
I have
say
4 digit. Yeah, no. 4 zeros would be great, actually.
like 4 zeros on something, that would be amazing.
I think it's my fault. I think I started with 4 zeros, but
You meant 4 digits.
and
But
some of these things too they may not be pleasant to think about. Life insurance is a depressing thing to think about.
really.
And another one is doing your will, which
Will.
that is
Yeah.
such a bummer. But I also have had a couple of personal experiences with friends where a will didn't exist and it is a major situation. No one wants to think about dying, but please make this part of your Boss October, especially we're talking to business owners. You
Yeah.
own your own business. You have to have some sort of a financial plan and a backup via a will.
Totally, and while we're talking about death, because I'm passionate about this subject, like, also maybe just, like, one job could be, like, ask my parents what their code status is. "Okay, mom, you're 80. You wanna go on a ventilator?" Like,
Yeah.
maybe the job for the day is literally having a hard conversation that you've been putting off for a long time. And that hangs over you that you worry about. Maybe it's not code status, but figure out what those things that have weight are that aren't hard. This isn't like I'm gonna clean out all my closets, but like these are things that may be as simple as a 2-line email so that you can just start it. It doesn't have to get finished either. Sometimes it's in the starting, as I'm sure.
Yeah. And so all of these things are super important, yet super easy to put off. It's very easy to go, I'll do that another day. I'll do that another month. I'll do it. And so, Boss October, the idea is this is your month that you just say, I'm going to rip the band aid off. I'm going to get it done. And
Totally. For the people in our audience too, who are business owners, the concept that I want to talk to you guys about is how do you use this in your business? So you can use Boss October to say, hey, not only what are the things I'm spending on in my business that I might not need to spend money on, or we all have business insurance, check out your business insurance. It could also be what's the status of my email list? Do I have a schedule for my social media, my email posting? I'm going to give you guys some ideas, but this concept can transcend beyond your personal life too. It
Yeah.
could transfer your business life. Totally. Oh, here's an example that would be like a good business one. So last year, one of the hard things I did during Boss October is I had a conversation with my cleaning lady about what a shitty job she was doing.
Yeah.
And she ended up like getting really like passive aggressive. And by like February, I had to fire her. But, like, it needed to happen, and now, like, I have a really low maintenance cleaning person that I pay a little bit more, but there's no drama, and there's no weight to this, like, my house getting cleaned every couple weeks. But that person had become, like, a energy suck, and so I needed to address it. They were canceling, and so maybe as a business owner, it's like that you have to fire someone, or that you have to fire a client, or that you have to there's just this thing that isn't right, that is draining you, and it means a hard conversation, and so that's where you need to be. That you need
If
to
you
just go have that conversation.
And if you compress all those hard conversations into one period of time, there's an end to it,
Totally.
right? Like you can feel great. I've been putting off this bad conversation for a while. I have to do it. And
Yeah.
one of the things that we talk about in our inspired organizer group a lot is the concept of boundaries. So what you're also discussing is a boundary. Like you're resentful of
Mhm.
that person. She's taking advantage of you. And so I have to set a boundary of, hey, I'm getting a service. It's not being provided to me. I need to have that conversation. And it didn't go well. You figured out, oh, this is not the person for me. So
To Totally. And, like, I'm an ER doctor, so if that's what I do. But I had a mentor many years ago who his mantra was, like, "The room that you don't wanna be in is the room you need to be in."
yeah.
And that might be because the patient is hostile, or you have to have a hard conversation, or that nurse isn't doing what she should be doing, or whatever reason you don't want to be in that room is the reason you need to be in the room. And I think that's what Last October is. It's like the things you don't want to do are the things you probably need to do.
Every time I've said this before, but every time we have a podcast guest, there's that record screech moment of something they say that is really like super good. And so that one, that's your record screech moment of the room that you don't want to be in is the room you need to be in because
Right.
these are all things that may be unpleasant, but it's like with our clients, clutter is bothering their brain more than they possibly understand. These
Mhm.
things are weighing on you more than, and it is bothering your brain and getting them off the list, getting them done. There is a huge freedom in that.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite Boss October thing? But is there something that where you're like, this alone was worth the price of admission?
So I like easy things because I'm inherently lazy. And one of the items is always get out your vitamin D and recognize that winter is coming. And so
Yeah.
it's like literally like I put the vitamin D on my bathroom so that I'm not like horribly seasonally depressed in February. And it's like super easy, but it needs to happen. And I need to recognize that it needs to happen and respect the fact that I need some real vitamin D and I need to take care of myself. I think it also is like a self care thing for winter here. Not all of you are wintering in Minnesota. It's hard and we have to get outside and we have to take vitamin D, but it is something so simple in my personal life that it like reminds me that I need to do self-care in the winter so that it doesn't just become this like horrible, dark, long indoor plog.
Yeah. It's really something to live in Minnesota, you guys. I know a lot of our listeners are in areas where this is not a situation that they have to manage, but here it is a situation.
I'm so sorry if vitamin D isn't totally relevant to you, but it is like the easiest thing on my Boss October list, and it has to happen in October. The other thing is I try to figure out my Christmas card in my head, at least,
So smart.
so that it's not just, oh God, it's like December 1st. I have a Christmas card. It takes a while to get my kids and husband in like real clothes. So it needs to start in October. And we do a Christmas card every year. Not everybody does that. Not everybody does Christmas, but it's something we do. I generally start holiday shopping too, or start at least a holiday list because it just, if it's off my head and I'm early, like to the game, it doesn't add stress. It's not that I like am a real overachiever when it comes to the holidays, but I don't like being behind with the holidays because then it becomes a chore and not a joy.
It's
So,
exhausting.
right.
Another thing that hangs over your head.
So those are some of my things that make sense for October that I
Love
like
it.
because I feel like I'm like ahead. Some of the other things I've been meaning to do. Okay, this is a Peloton reference. God, this. How do you know somebody has a Peloton? They talk about it constantly. I need to get a bike fit. So I've been meaning. There's these people that like Zoom. I hate cameras, which is why it took 6 days for us to coordinate this interview. Right. But I also hate cameras, and so like part of the bike fit is you have to zoom in with someone, and they like watch you ride the bike, which sounds really awkward. But think about it. If my settings are wrong, like every time I'm on the bike, I'm like riding in the wrong position.
Right.
And so like I've literally been meaning to do a bike fit for 9 months and I have yet to schedule it, but it will happen in October because it's on my list. Like schedule bike fit. It's not that's not what like Boss October isn't like workout every day. It's
Right.
schedule the bike fit that you've been meaning to schedule for 8 months that will pay for itself and improve your life and improve everything. You just need to do it and get over the fact that you hate being on a camera with a stranger. Not you're not a stranger, but
No.
worse than you would be a stranger.
It's stranger. And I think all of us have video fatigue at this point too. So that does not help. But your point, something that you said there reminded me of a lot of times when I'm working with a client, if they're struggling to get through something that's really hard, I always try to say, what's your end goal? Like your goal is to have this room that you can walk into without breaking your leg. We are going to get to that. We have to go through a little bit of mess to get there. And so that's to me the point of Boss October too is hey, the end point of what I'm going to get feels so good. I'm going to have a little bit of temporary pain. I'm going to have to be on with a stranger on Zoom, but it's actually going to make my workouts better. It's going to prevent injury. It's going to increase comfort. There are some end goals there that are good for you to achieve, even though you don't really want to do it.
For sure. And I have one email that I've been meaning to send for also 8 months, which is like to my entire group about this issue where I need to go through and like double check everyone's it involves like a spreadsheet and a lot of organization and an email to everyone. And I just don't like it's also on the list, like one single email that I've been putting off. We all have one email we've been putting
All
off.
of us, every single person I know has that one email. So maybe that's what, if you're listening to this today and you have your one email, whatever that looks like, send it today. This is your sign. Just be done with it.
For sure. For sure. Or like low hanging fruit. So in the last year, it's been hanging, I think a lot about opioid overdoses. So there's like I'm an emergency room doctor. I have to prescribe opioids. People get addicted to opioids. People die of opioid overdoses. And so it's just been hanging over me. Like, how do I have conversations with people, but how do I communicate that clearly that this is like a true risk? So I sat down and I wrote out something at a sixth grade level, which is the level you want your discharge instructions at, that says like everyone can become addicted and most people who become addicted start out with prescription drugs. Therefore, I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you as my patient to like only use the opioids in the minimum amount that you need for the shortest amount of time possible, and then just get rid of them in a safe fashion. So,
Job is very different than my job. Just in time.
but I literally every time, like I wrote this and it's, yeah, that's great. It took me like 20 minutes and I sent it to a friend and she said, that's amazing. Like, why are we all not like writing this on our discharge papers when we write for opioids? Sometimes it's just so simple, but there's momentum and dang, I just wrote the thing I needed to write
Right.
that I need to say. And so there's work things. The other thing about Boss October is this list is for me, I know you're talking to people in their professional lens, but for me, it's hard. It's like those things like intermingle, right? So like,
Absolutely.
if you're not taking your vitamin D, you're also not like maybe functioning at work super well. And I think probably a lot of your people like work from home, the home and the like work life, they both need to be on in order for them to both be on.
And health and work, especially intertwined for professional organizers, because our work is very physically draining. It's also emotionally draining. And obviously in a much different way than your work is physically and emotionally draining, but you have to say, what am I doing? There may be some health things I need to take care of. I haven't taken a vitamin in 3 years. It's time to start a vitamin regimen.
Right.
Or I need to say, hey, my job is physically demanding, so I need to make sure I'm not working 6 days a week with clients. Maybe you say, I need to only work 4 days a week with clients. But then what does that look like in my schedule? How do I schedule people? It's thinking about all those big picture things and then doing the things that are underneath that you've probably put off for a long time.
Yeah, your job is really hard. Your people do really hard work. So I've said to you that I would rather resuscitate a dead human than declutter something.
You did say that. That is the truth.
Which is why we work together because we all have our strengths, right? And that might sound really callous, but the point is like that's my job. If that's what comes in, I have to do that. And I'm pretty good at it. So and you're pretty good at helping people declutter. You're actually excellent. You're nothing person. But but it's been like it makes me better at work to have an approach to things at home and to be able to like clear my mind. And like you help people like clear their space, clear their mind. There is so much weight. And that's what Boss October is, right? It's like this weight of the clutter of the things. And so like your work is amazing and keep doing it. All of you people who
We
do
do
this,
love doing it,
you
and
help people so much. All kinds of people.
we do help people, and that's actually one of the reasons that I wanted to talk to you today is because Boss October to me is not only for the people that listen to this podcast, but it is an extremely powerful tool they can take to their clients also. So people who struggle with having some of these things hanging over their heads, it's just this great concept that we can take to our clients and make sure that they're making the right forward progress so that they can live a better life too. It's all we do is make sure people live better lives.
Oh, yes. And I should clarify something when you said boss October, it just reminded me of something that's a little bit of a jump. But be careful with your spouse when you talk about boss October because
Oh,
I misinterpret it as I'm the boss of you. So like
I like
boss
that.
October is about being the boss of yourself. And really like I tell my kids like mind your own bobber, which in Minnesota is a fishing thing. Pay attention to your own fishing line. And I think Boss October is about minding your own clutter, minding your own list. And Boss October does not involve telling my husband to like put the snow stakes in or clean out the garage or do the things I want him to do in October because you just can't. And if you let it slip that you're doing Boss October and then they hear about it and then you tell them to do something, they'll be like, Boss October.
It's Boss October.
It'll be real passive aggressive. So just you gotta have some rules around who you boss. And for me, the rule is that I boss myself in October. I tell myself to do all the things I've been putting off.
I love that.
Yeah,
In the same way that I tell my clients that no, we cannot organize someone else's space. We cannot throw away someone else's things. It's
yeah.
it's a very good point. Two of my favorite things about working with you, like there are a million, but two things I always learn something from every single client. So one of the very important things I learned at Leah's house is how valuable Legos are because her family are huge Lego people. They have actually it's her fault now that I enjoy doing Legos as a grown human adult. I'm just finishing the Seinfeld apartment right now. I love it. It's my new favorite, like calming thing. But I remember when I was at her house, we were moving things around and she's like, hey, be really careful with those boxes because that one's worth like $1,000. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Sometimes you have to be really careful.
Retired Lego sets.
That's
Yes.
right. Retired Lego sets. I learned the value of those and how careful you have to be with them. And the other thing, the value of keeping truly sentimental items there, because Leah is a physician, she had a letter from a patient that was buried in a bunch of paperwork that basically thanked her for saving his life. He was a young person in college, and it was this very heartfelt letter about how she legitimately saved his life down the road. And she kept that letter. And I just remember thinking it's important for us to be able to uncover all these like beautiful things in our life. And that's what decluttering does.
Totally. Totally.
Oh. I am so happy that you have taught us about this. I think you're going to help a ton of people and we appreciate I'm so excited that you are my friend and my client and I am so excited that you shared with my audience. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you to my friend and client Leah. I actually texted her the other day saying that I was revisiting Boss October and she's very happy. And I would love for you to join us in our group. Please go to proorganizerstudio.com/links. Also, while you're there, if you have missed our last couple of sets of podcasts, they have been wrap ups from the How To Summit. If you were not able to go to the How To Summit, they give you a little flavor of the learning that was done there. So we brought a little bit of the How To Summit to you. And also, if you were there and want a little refresh of what I chatted about, it's there too. Later this week, stay tuned for more stuff. That's all I'm going to say. Have a great week.